Okay, so I think begging for a trade deal if you're Keir Starmer is not pathetic, but it is if you're Boris Johnson. What you ought to be doing, barriers.
Nandy said that millionaires are leaving Britain because of Brexit.
On the flip side, a survey today by Henley Partners and New World Wealth points to 11,300 millionaires leaving the capital, a big chunk of that in the last 12 months. If this data, the survey is followed by hard data on that front, would the government consider reversing its decision to abolish the non-dom tax status?
Well, the report points to a variety of factors that have led to that, most specifically Brexit. And one of the things that we're committed to doing as a government is making sure that we get a far better deal with the European Union that makes sure that we can continue to support British business. So in my area, for example, we've got significant problems, as has the EU, because music artists aren't able to tour from the UK and the EU and vice versa. Now, that's not good for anybody, so closer cooperation is in people's interest.
Nandy said that Boris Johnson was pathetic for trying to get a trade deal with Donald Trump. And now here we are in 2025, the Labour government, of which Lisa Nandy is one of them, is trying to get an American trade deal with Donald Trump. You just couldn't make it. The Labour government were going to try and get an American trade deal when I found out that they were aggressively defending the judicial review into the Australia trade deal, so much so that they're trying to derail the judicial review by destroying their cost-capping order. And that showed real intent of wanting to continue the Brexit trade ideas. And it is now clear that someone called Maurice Glassman, Lord Glassman, is very much behind their thinking. And he is very much a Trump fan and a Brexit fan. He's the founder of Blue Labour, and he's very clearly aligned with people like Steve Bannon and JD Vance. He actually went to Trump's inauguration. And this is why we have got lunacy going on right now, in that Starmer's government are walking a tightrope, trying to please Donald Trump and trying to keep relations good with the EU. It's actually impossible to do both, and it's definitely in our best interest to go back to Europe, try and rejoin the single market and the customs union and become members again and embrace the euro. Today, in the New Statesman, Andrew Adonis wrote exactly that. Why are we messing about? We need to rejoin the European Union. We don't want to go into any deals with Donald Trump. He is not trustworthy. He's shown that. He's in deals with Canada and Mexico, and he's totally and utterly reneged on those deals. So why would we want to go into a deal with somebody that's totally untrustworthy? We need to rejoin the European Union, and we need to make sure that Britain is secure, because our food security is steeped in those agreements within the EU. And if we are going to end up in some form of conflict with Russia, we definitely need food security. You cannot rearm this country on an empty stomach. We need to make sure that we've got food.